today, which is how to create gravity. Now, this is something that I personally love because the idea of gravity for me as a past science teacher is something that nerdily excites me. So let me take you inside this project. Okay, so basically what I've created here is a project where if you hit the space bar, it'll cause basically this gravitational effect. And you can affect it so the gravity seems either stronger or weaker. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove some of these blocks and take you through the beginning as to how you would go ahead and create this. Okay, now you couldn't see it, but when I hit the space bar, that's when the action actually took place. And the way that I went ahead and created that is I have two sprites here. I have a magic carpet, and then I have my scratch cat. And there's a lot of touching something blocks involved in this. If you wanted to go ahead and do a touching color block and have it relate to the color of whatever the floor is, you could do that. But for the sake of sort of gravitational pull, I decided to use a magic carpet because they float in the air, blah, blah, blah. It's totally up to you. So I have the if touching magic carpet. Oh, yes.
Can you zoom in on your blocks?
Yes, I can.
Awesome, thanks.
Better?
Yep.
Okay, good. Yes, if there needs to be a zoom in at any point, please let me know. So when space key pressed, and if it's touching the magic carpet, now what I've done is I've gone ahead and set a variable for y velocity. So the y velocity basically refers to the movement of the scratch cat up and down the y-axis. So what's going to happen is that when the scratch cat is touching this particular magic carpet, the y velocity is going to go to 9. And you can set that, if you want it to be a stronger pull of gravity, you can set this lower because the greater the, or I'm sorry, if you want to set this number higher, that will mean that the scratch cat will jump higher, and then if you want to set it lower, the scratch cat won't go as high. So that's kind of up to you for what sort of effect that you want to create. Okay, so in order to create the rest of this, we do need a when green flag click block. And we're going to have a couple of forever loops that come into this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to account for two things. First, I'm going to account for what's going to happen when scratch cat is touching the magic carpet and when scratch cat is not touching the magic carpet. So let's go with the not touching the magic carpet situation first. So we'll do if and then. So if he is not, so we'll pick this operator, not touching the magic carpet, and select from the drop-down menu. Then we're going to go ahead and have the y velocity change. And I'm going to have it be negative. We'll make it kind of small, so like negative 0. It'll be sort of a slow burn back down to the bottom. And then if it's not touching the magic carpet, that's what will take place. But otherwise, we want it to actually go ahead and change by whatever y velocity it is that we have. So he'll go back up. So we'll do this. Change y by, throw that in there. And for those of you that have been using a lot of variables, this will be familiar to you. You just go ahead and you plug it in right there, okay? Now I'm going to zoom out real quick one more time because I have one more set of blocks to bring down here. We're going to do another when green flag is clicked. Okay, now before any action happens, you always want to make sure that the velocity is going to be set to 0. So that's the first thing that you need to account for because we want obviously him to be just standing still here until we hit the space bar. But then again for forever, if he's going to then be touching the magic carpet, which is the opposite of what we had up here, and I'll pull that down, then we want to go ahead and just have him wait until we hit the space bar. So if touching the magic carpet, nothing's going to happen until the space bar is pressed. So we need to make sure that we set that. So let's just make sure that if he's touching the magic carpet, again, we're going to set the y velocity to 0. And here's where we're going to use something that I don't often bring up, which is the wait until block. So we're going to wait until he's not touching the magic carpet. So this same block here. So we'll put that in. And then touching the magic carpet. So this is definitely a bit more of an advanced sequence of blocks, but the thing that's important to note is that you have to make sure that you account for when he is touching the magic carpet and when he's not touching the magic carpet. And this depends on if you want to do color, magic carpet, it's up to you. So then when we hit the space bar, that should cause him to actually go up and then down like you saw before. And this can be switched, so if you want to make the velocity higher or if you want to make the velocity lower, that's up to you. And actually, this description is given in the last thing that I'm going to show you, which is a part of the forum where you can go and get information on tips and tricks beyond just what Eric and I are going to show you. And I'm going to pull this up real quick because I know that we're running out of time.